Good evening, everybody. This is Bill Anderson coming to you live from Oris Shields Activity Center. Getting ready to start the 11th annual Sterling Girls Tournament. Our opening session is going to be the Scott City Beavers versus the Kingman Eagles. Scott City comes into this tournament ranked number 2. Kingman comes in ranked number 7. Scott comes into this overall tournament with a 500 record. They're 4-4. Their last win was on December the 12th versus Cimarron, and that score was 38-33. Kingman has had a rough start to the season. They're 1-7. Their last win was on December the 14th versus Trinity, where they won 51-22. Again, welcome in to 3BN Network. This is the 11th annual Girls Sterling Tournament. Opening session will start here in just a few minutes. Again, the Scott City Girl Beavers versus the Kingman Girl Eagles. And we'll start here in just a minute. Be right back with you after opening announcements. Welcome to 3BN Network. This is Bill Anderson coming to you live from Ora Shields Activity Center. We're getting ready to get started on our opening session of the 3 o'clock game, Scott City girls versus the Kingman girls. Starting off for Scott City, it's number 2, Kendall Gentry, number 12, Erica Felker, number 23, Avery Lewis, number 24, Cheyenne Kramer, number 41, Megan Trout. And for Kingman, it's number 5, Jaden Belt, number 13, Lainey Wood, 21, Mary Pierce, 24, Chloe Zeller, and number 32, Grace Parsons. Again, this is your opening session of the Sterling Invitational Girls Tournament, 11th annual. Looks like Megan Trout for Scott and number 13, Lainey Wood for Kingman will be tipping off this afternoon. Welcome into this 3 o'clock session. Again, Scott City girls versus Kingman girls. And right off the opening tip, it's the Scott City girls controlling. Inside shot. Looks like for number 12, Erica Felter is going to put Scott City on the board initially. Kingman tries to work it inside, blocked by number 41. Megan Trout. Scott City on the other end of the floor. Got a foul on number 24, Chloe Zeller for Kingman. Scott City going to retain possession. They do work it inside to number 41, Megan Trout, and she's fouled by Kingman's, looks like number 24, Chloe Zeller. That's going to send Megan Trout to the line to shoot. Megan's first shot is off the mark. Again, we're just in this opening session of the first game this afternoon. 7:24 left in the first quarter. Second shot by Trout, no good. We still have a 2-0 score. Scott City with the lead. Kingman inside shot by number 13. Lainey Wood, no good. Brought back out by Scott City. Scott tries to work it inside. Looks like it's number 23, Avery Lewis, was fouled pretty hard. And that foul is going to go against number 13, Lainey Wood. That's her first foul. That's going to send number 23, Cheyenne Kramer, to the line to shoot. First shot is good. Second shot is good by Cheyenne Kramer. 4-0 is your score early here in the first quarter. Kingman with the ball. Down to Scott City. 4-0. Kingman number 32, Grace Parsons, fouled on the arm. Foul's going to go against, looks like Cheyenne Kramer. That's her first foul. Kingman with the ball. Working around the perimeter. Kinsley McDorman. Top of the key, they do work it inside. Kingman having a tough time getting a shot off by this strong defense by Scott City. It's like a quick steal by Scott City by number 2, Kendall Gentry. They do work it inside down low. Megan Trout. It's like she's tied up by Kingman's number 32, Grace Parsons. Ball's going to stay with Scott City. Looks like number 15 for Scott City, Mackenzie Metzger, is getting ready to check into the ball game for number 24, Cheyenne Kramer. Scott City getting ready to inbound. Top of the key to number 2, Kendall Gentry. Quick shot, no good. Rebounded by number 23, Avery Lewis. She's fouled. That foul's going to go against number 5, Jaden Belt for Kingman. It's going to send number 23, Avery Lewis, to the line to shoot. First shot is no good. Looks like number 24, Chloe Zeller for Kingman's checking in for number 5, Jaden Belt. 5:54 left here in the first quarter. 4-0 is your score. Scott City with the lead. Second shot by Avery Lewis is good. Kingman inbounds. So they bring it up the floor. Number 3, Katie Weathers, freshman for Kingman. Ball knocked out of bounds by number 2, Kendall Gentry, going to stay with Kingman. Kingman inbounds, number 13, Lainey Wood, top of the key over to number 3, Kinsley McDormand. Dorman looking for somebody inside, has a knock loose. Number 15, Mackenzie Metzger, knocks it out of bounds for Scott City. He's going to stay with Kingman. Kinsley McDormand trying to bring it in for Kingman. Stolen by Metzger. Metzger tries to get it inside to number 2. Nice pass to Kendall Gentry for another shot. Kingman with the ball. Other end of the floor, looking for their first points of the afternoon. Ball tied up. It looks like number 2, Kendall Gentry, picks up a foul against Kingman. And we're going to take a quick timeout, looks like, here with 5:04 left in the first quarter. Looks like Scott City Beavers 7, Kingman 0. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. Back out of the timeout, 7-0 is your score. Scott City over the Kingman Lady Eagles. Kingman ready to inbound. Again, looking for their first points of the afternoon. Try to work it inside, knocked away by Kendall Gentry for Scott. Kingman having a tough time trying to get anything going on the offensive floor against this really strong Scott City defense. Zeller over to number 13. Lainey Wood tried to get inside for the layup. No good, rebounded by Scott. Scott City inside. Nice pass from Erica Felker to Avery Lewis for the shot. 9-0 is your score, Scott City. Kingman losing the ball on the other end of the floor. Looks like number 24, Cheyenne Kramer, is going to check back in for Scott City, replacing Megan Trout. Kendall Gentry for Scott City brings the ball down the floor. They do work it inside to number 23, Avery Lewis can't get that to go, rebounded by Kingman. Cross-court pass to number 21, Peyton Gentry, knocked away by Scott City's Kendall Gentry. It's going to stay with Kingman. Kinsley McDorman brings it into number 13, Laney Wood for Kingman. Laney top of the key. They do work it into Wood. Little scoop shot, can't get that to go. Rebounded by number 24, Cheyenne Kramer for Scott City. Scott City with the ball. Looks like number 12, Shea Watkins, or excuse me, number 12, Erica Felter tried to work it inside to Kendall Gentry. Ball went out of bounds. It's going to go back to Kingman. 9-0 is your score here in the first quarter of your first session game here this afternoon. Scott City versus Kingman. Kingman trying to get a shot off. It was number 32. Grace Parsons couldn't get that to go. We have a foul, looks like on number 12, Erica Felter for Scott City. And that's her first personal foul. Looks like Avery Lewis is going to check out of the game. Megan Trout back in for Scott City. Kingman trying to inbound it again, looking for their first points of the ball game. Ball stolen by number 12. Erica Felker for Scott City. 11-0 is your score here in the first quarter. This opening session game. Scott City Beaver girls on top of these Kingman Eagle girls. 11-0. Kingman with the ball. Again, still looking for their first points of the afternoon. Tried to work it inside to number 13. Laney Wood, she traveled. That ball's going to be turned back over to Scott City. 3:06 left here in the first quarter. You're just tuning in. This is the 3BN Network, bringing you coverage of the 11th annual Sterling Girls Invitational. Scott City versus Kingman in this opening session. 11-0, Scott City on top of these Kingman girls. Shot in the corner by number 12. Erica Felker, no good. Ball knocked out of bounds. Ball's going to go back to Kingman. Laney Wood for Kingman, bringing the ball up the floor. 2:37 left here in the first quarter. Kingman with the ball. An errant pass by Kingman, taken control of by number 2, Kendall Gentry for Scott. She takes it hard to the glass and is fouled. Looks like that foul's going to go against number 21, Mary Pierce for Kingman. Kendall Gentry to the line to shoot 2. First shot is no good. Second shot by Kendall Gentry. No good. Rebounded by number 12, Erica Felker. She gets it inside to number 15, Metzger. Metzger can't get that to go. Rebounded by Kingman. Kingman, other side of the floor, can't get that to go. Stolen by Kendall Gentry. She goes coast to coast, tries to lay it in, can't get it to go. Knocked out of bounds, looks like by number 13, Laney Wood. So that's going to stay with Scott City. Avery Lewis checking in for number 2, Kendall Gentry. It looks like number 5, Jaden Belt's going to come in and replace number 21, Mary Pierce. For Kingman. Scott City with the ball into the boards. 2 minutes left here in the first quarter and a commanding 11-0 lead here in the first quarter. They do rebound it or get it inside to number 24 off the inbound. Cheyenne Kramer for 2. Number 13 is Lainey Wood bringing the ball up the floor. Looks like she's fouled. That foul's going to go against number 41, Megan Trout. For Scott City, Kingman to inbounds. We try to get the ball inside to number 13, Lainey Wood. She has it stolen by Scott City, but Scott City turns that back right over to Kingman off of the traveling call. 1:44 left here in the first quarter. Kingman with the ball, inbounding. Down 0-13 to these Lady Scott City girls. Shot by Lainey Wood, no good. Rebounded. Looks like by number 12, Erica Felker. Looks like it's a tie-up, and that's going to stay with Kingman girls. Try to inbounds to Kingman. They do work it inside to number 13, Lainey Wood. Kingman having a really difficult time getting any points this afternoon. Number 12, Erica Felker, goes coast to coast on the other end for Scott. She's fouled. That's going to send her to the line, and that foul's going to go against, looks like number Erica Felker for Scott City to shoot. Looks like that last foul went against Chloe Zeller for Kingman. Looks like number 22. For Kingman, looks like number 22. For Kingman. Kingman shot no good, rebounded by Scott. She's fouled, looks like by number 5, Jaden Belt. And that's Jaden's second personal foul for Kingman. Looks like Kinsey Metzger for Scott. First shot is good. Kendall Gentry back in the ballgame for Scott. Metzger's second shot is good. 17-0 is your score here in the first quarter. Kingman again having a really difficult time getting on the board this afternoon. Scott City with the ball. Kendall Gentry bringing the ball down. They do work it into Gentry. Back out to Avery Lewis. Three-point shot by Kendall Gentry, no good. Ball knocked out of bounds, looks like by number 41, Megan Trout. And that's going to go back to Kingman with 35 seconds left here in the first quarter. Erica Felter for Scott City checking in for Metzger. Kingman with the ball. Number 13, Lainey Wood, bringing it down for Kingman. Shot by Lainey Wood in the corner. She was fouled. It looks like by number 23, Avery Lewis. Excuse me, correction. That's going to be number 24, Cheyenne Kramer. That's her second foul, sending number 13, Lainey Wood, to the line to shoot. First shot is no good. Kinsey Metzger coming back into the ball game for number 24, Cheyenne Kramer. Lainey Wood for Kingman. Second shot, no good. Ball rebounded by number 41, Megan Trout for Scott City. 20 seconds left here in the first quarter. Get the ball across the timeline. They get it over in the corner to Metzger. She kicks it over to Kendall Gentry. Gentry goes into the lane and shoots. Can't get that to go. Rebounded by number 3, Kinsley McDormand. And at the last second, they try to get a shot off. Number 13, Lainey Wood. So that's it. The end of your first quarter. Your score, 17-0. Scott City Beavers over these Lady Kingman girls. Again, 17-0. Scott City over Kingman here in your first quarter. Thanks for tuning into the 3BN Network. This is the Sterling Invitational, 11th annual Sterling Invitational Girls Tournament. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to 3BN Network. We're getting ready to start the second quarter of this opening 3 o'clock session. Scott City girls over the Kingman Lady Eagles, 17-0. Scott City with the ball. They try to work it inside, blocked inside by Kingman. As Kingman comes back the other direction. Again, Kingman looking for any kind of points. Get on the board this afternoon. They try to work the ball over to number 4, Ryan Schreiner for Kingman, knocked loose by Scott City. It's going to stay with Kingman. Ball stolen by number 2, Kendall Gentry. She goes coast to coast for Scott City, gets the ball in the basket. And that's going to send her to the line for the traditional three-point play. That foul was on Lainey Wood. It's her first foul. Gentry's free throw is good. 20-0 here in the first quarter, or first half of play here in this opening game. Scott City versus Kingman. 7:18 left in the second quarter. Ball knocked loose by Scott City's Metzger. Going to stay with Kingman. Kinsley McDormand gets it in to Ryan Schreiner for Kingman. McDormand top of the key. And Kingman looking for any kind of offense this afternoon. Shot by number 13, Lainey Wood, no good. Rebounded by Scott City. Scott City on the other end of the floor, number 23, Avery Lewis can't get that to go. Rebounded by number 41, Megan Trout. Fouled by number 13, Lainey Wood. That's going to send Megan Trout to the line to shoot. First shot is good. Returning to the Eagle lineup is Mary Pierce. Mary Pierce coming back into the lineup for Kingman, replacing number 13, Lainey Wood. Second shot for Trout is good. Kingman with the ball. Still have not had an opportunity to get on the board this afternoon. We're well into the second quarter. Kingman cannot get onto the board, and ball stolen by number 2, Kendall Gentry. Pass out to number 12, Erica Felker can't get that to go. Foul on Kendall Gentry inside on that rebound. That ball's going to go back to Kingman. Checking in for Scott City, Krista Irvin. Checking in for Kingman, Addie Campbell. Number 1, Addie Campbell. Scott City with the ball, 6:30 left here in the second quarter. McDormand bringing the ball down for Kingman. 22-0, Scott City girls over these Kingman girls. Shot by McDormand, no good, rebounded by Scott City. Scott working it around the perimeter. Avery Lewis with the three-point shot. $25-0 is your score. Scott City with the ball and the commanding lead. Scott shot down below, rebounded by number 20. Krista Irvin for Scott City. Scott City with the ball. Corner shot by Metzger, no good. Rebounded by Scott City. Metzger inside for 2. Can't get that to go. Rebounded by number 3. Kinsley McDormand for Kingman. Three-point attempt, and there is number 1, Campbell, finally getting Kingman on the board for their first points of the ball game. 4:43 left in the second quarter. 27-3 is your score. Scott City over Kingman. Shot inside by number 23, Cheyenne Kramer, or excuse me, Avery Lewis. Ball knocked out of bounds. Ball's going to go back to Kingman. Kingman's McDormand with the ball, bringing it down the floor. We have some new players who have checked in for Scott City. Number 20, Krista Irvin, rebounded over to Avery Lewis, tie up on the floor. Mary Pierce and Avery Lewis tied up on the floor. Ball's going to stay with Kingman. Looks like we have Kaylee Felker in for Scott City, along with number 15 Metzger. Number 12, Erica Felker. Some new faces for Scott there on the floor. Scott City tried to work it inside to Kaylee Felker, stolen by Kingman. Kingman works it inside to number 5. Jaden Bell can't get that to go, rebounded by Scott City. Scott with the ball. Corner shot by Avery Lewis, rebounded by Chris Irvin for 2 more points for Scott City. 29-3 is your score here in the first half of this opening session this afternoon. Scott City girls 29, Kingman girls 3. Scott City with the ball, bringing the ball down the floor. Erica Felker over to Metzger. Metzger three-point attempt, no good. Rebounded by number 23, Avery Lewis. They do get it over to number 20, Chrissy Irvin, and she gets shot just inside the three-point line for 2. Kingman with the ball. Other end of the floor. Needing a lot of offense this afternoon to try to climb back into the ball game. It's like Chloe Zeller's checking into the ball game. or excuse me, let me get these numbers right. Number 41, Megan Trout for Scott City. Number 24, Cheyenne Kramer. Number 20, Chris Irvin still out there. Number 15, Metzger. Scott City with the ball. Trout top of the key. 2:15 left here in the half. Scott works it inside to number 41, Megan Trout. Can't get that to go. Rebounded by Kingman. Kingman, other end of the floor. Three-point attempt by number 3, Kinsley McDormand. No good. Rebounded by Scott. It's number 24, Cheyenne Kramer. And at 1:50 left here in the half, we're going to have a timeout by Scott City. Again, your score, Scott City Lady Beavers 31, Kingman Lady Eagles 3. We'll be back right after this timeout. Welcome back to 3BN Network. This is Bill Anderson bringing you coverage of the 11th annual Sterling Invitational Girls Tournament. This is the opening 3 o'clock session. The Scott City Girls versus the Kingman Lady Eagles. 1:50 left here in the first half. 31-3, Scott City Girls over these Kingman girls. Scott City with the ball coming out of the timeout. Shot no good by number 24's Kramer. Rebounded by Kingman. Pierce top of the key over to McDormand. McDormand tries to drive the lane. Push from behind. Looks like that foul's going to go against number 15, Mackenzie Metzger for Kingman. It's going to stay with Kingman. Corner shot finally by McDormand for Kingman is good. 31-6 is your score. 1 minute left here in the first half. Scott City with a commanding lead over these Kingman Lady Eagles. Kingman with the ball. Corner three by McDormand again. Starting to heat up is McDormand for Kingman as that's her second three-point attempt goes in. 31-9, 30 seconds left here in the first half. Scott City with the ball and the lead. Corner shot by number 24, Cheyenne Kramer, no good. Rebounded by Scott City, able to knock it off the feet of Kingman's McDormand's going to stay with Scott City. Looks like number 12, Erica Felker. And number 23, Avery Lewis checking the ball game for Scott. 13 seconds left. Open shot into the boards by number 24, Cheyenne Kramer. Defensive breakdown for Kingman. It's going to allow some more points for Scott City. And at the buzzer, number 21, Mary Pierce for Kingman. Three-pointer. Again, your halftime score. Scott City girls 33, Kingman girls 12. This is the 11th annual Sterling Invitational Girls Tournament. Opening session, halftime again. Scott City girls 33, Kingman Lady Eagles 12. We'll be back for this second half ball game. Thanks for tuning in to 3BN Network. Welcome back to the 3BN Network. We're getting ready to start the second half of this opening session ball game. Scott City girls versus the Kingman girls. Your halftime score is 33-12. Scott City over Kingman. Your high score for Scott City is Avery Lewis, already has 10 points in the first half, followed by Erica Felker with 6. Cheyenne Kramer and Carissa Urban with 4. Kendall Gentry with 5. Mackenzie Metzger with 2. And for the Kingman girls, Kinsley Dorman has 6 points. Mary Pierce has 3 points. Addie Campbell has 3 points. All 3-pointers. 33-12 is your score. Getting ready to start the second half. Scott City to inbounds to Kendall Gentry. Kingman settling in. They need to try to get a lot of scoring done here in the second half as they're down by 21 points here in the opening half. Ball stolen by Kingman from Scott City. Mary Pierce with the ball, bringing it up the floor for Kingman. They do work it inside. Nice open shot by number 32, Grace Parsons, to help with the scoring for Kingman. 7:19 here in the first part of the second half, third quarter. Shot by Scott City, no good. Rebounded by Kingman. It's like foul by number 12, Erica Felker. That's her second foul. Ball's going to be taken out of bounds by number 21, Mary Pierce. Laney Wood with the ball for Kingman. They try to work it inside, knocked away by Scott City's 24, Cheyenne Kramer. Scott City, corner shot by number 24, Cheyenne Kramer, no good. Rebounded by Kingman. Pierce that tries to look it inside to number 5, Jaden Belt, knocked away by Scott City's number 12, Erica Felker, going to stay with Kingman. Do work it inside off the inbounds. 3-point attempt by number 13, Laney Wood for Kingman. That is good. Scott City on the other end, number 23, Avery Lewis, no good. Rebounded by Kingman. Kingman the other direction. Try to work it inside, knocked away by Scott City. Ball collected by number 41, Megan Trout, inside to Erica Felter for 2. And we have a timeout by Scott City. 5:52 left here in the third quarter. 35-17 is your score. As Kingman's starting to put some points on the board. We'll be right back after this short break. Back after this timeout. Third quarter, 5:52 left in the third quarter. 35-17, Scott City over these Lady Kingman Eagles. Kingman to inbound. Laney Wood with the ball. Taking it inside. They work it inside to number 32. Grace Parsons overshot the basket, rebounded by Scott City's number 2, Kendall Gentry. She goes coast to coast. Can't get that to go. Ball rebounded by number 41, Megan Trout. She's fouled by number 32, Grace Parsons for Kingman. Megan Trout to the line to shoot. 2. First one no good. Checking in for Scott City, number 15, Metzger. Second shot by Trout is good, so she got 1 of 2 of those free throw shots. Kingman with the ball, number 3, McDormand. They work it inside to number 5, Jaden Belt. She's fouled, looks like by number 12, Erica Felker. That's her 3rd foul, sending number 5, Jaden Belt, to the line to shoot 2. First shot is good. Second shot is good by Jaden Belt. Checking into the lineup is number 20, Krissa Irvin. For number 12, Erica Felker. Scott City, Kendall Gentry passing the ball to number 20, Krissa Irvin, bringing it down the floor for Scott City. Scott in the lead, 36-19 over these Lady Eagles. 5:09 left here in the 3rd quarter. Corner shot by Metzger for Scott City, rebounded by number 24, Chloe Zeller. As we go back the other direction for Kingman. Ball knocked out of bounds by Kendall Gentry for Scott City. He's going to stay with Kingman. Checking back in for Scott is number 24, Kramer, and number 12, Erica Felker. Kingman to inbound. Looks like they run a play inside to number 13, Lainey Wood. She couldn't hold on to the ball. It's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to go back to Scott City, bringing in the ball in with number 23, Avery Lewis, for Scott City. Scott City working around the perimeter. Knocked away by number 12, Lainey Wood. She's going to be fouled, looks like by number 15, Metzger. And that's her 2nd foul. Kingman to inbounds. 4:34 left here in the 3rd quarter. 36-19. Scott City girls over the Kingman Lady Eagles. Number 13, Lainey Wood, tried to go inside for Kingman, lost the handle and traveled. Ball's going to go back to Scott City. Krissa Irvin bringing the ball down for Scott. Metzger over in the corner to number 12, Erica Felker for 3. Can't get that to go. Rebounded by number 23, Avery Lewis. Try to work it inside, looks like, to number 12, Erica Felker. She's going to be fouled. And that foul is going to go against Jaden Belt for Kingman. That's her 3rd foul, sending number 12, Erica Felker, to the line to shoot. First shot is good. Ryan Schreiner checking into the lineup for Kingman. It's Erica Felker. Lines up her 2nd free throw shot, and that is good. 38-19 is your score. Scott City girls over these Kingman girls. 3:57 left here in the 3rd quarter. Kingman trying to work it inside to number 1, Addie Campbell for Kingman. She loses the handle, ball goes out of bounds, going back to Scott City. Scott City works it inside to number 12, Erica Felker. She gets it back out to number 23, Avery Lewis. Felker tried to get it inside, knocked loose by Kingman. Quick inside shot by number 12. Erica Felker gets her own rebound back out. They do work it inside to number 24. Cheyenne Kramer. Shot is good. 40-19, Scott City over Kingman girls. McDormand shot no good, gets her own rebound, goes inside for two and gets that to go. Scott City bringing the ball down. 2:50 left here in the third quarter. Ball tied up under the boards. Looks like alternate possession is going to go back to Kingman. We have a host of check-ins here for Scott City. Try to give you the rundown here in just a minute. 2:43 left here in the third quarter. 40-21, Scott City over Kingman. Kingman over in the corner to Pierce for three, and she gets that to go. Scott City back on the other end. Three-point attempt by number 12, Erica Felker. That goes in for Scott City. Kingman with the ball. Looks like McDormand trying to work it inside. She's going to be fouled by number 2, Kendall Gentry. And that's her third personal foul. She's going to stay out there for now as Kingman brings the ball in. Quick three-point attempt by number 13, Lainey Wood for Kingman. Scott City with the ball. Erica Felker's shot no good, rebounded by number 41, Megan Trout. She's fouled. That foul's going to go against number 1, Addie Campbell for Kingman. Megan Trout's shot, first shot is good. Second shot is good for Megan Trout on the free throw line. Number 22, Keegan Dick checks in for Kingman. Shot inside by number 3, Dorman, no good. Corner three by Lainey Wood is good for Kingman. Making this ball game a little bit interesting. 1:12 left here in the third quarter. 45-30 now. Scott City over Kingman. Three-point attempt no good by 23, Avery Lewis, but rebounded inside by number 12, Erica Felker for 2. 50 seconds left here in the third quarter. Kingman with the ball. Down by 17. Number 13, Lainey Wood, tried to step back for a 3 and traveled. Looks like number 15 and number 24, Metzger and Kramer are going to check in for Scott City. 38 seconds left here in the third quarter. 47-30 is your score. Scott City in the lead. Kendall Gentry with the ball. For Scott City, top of the key. She sizes up at 3, makes the shot, no good. Rebounded by number 13, Lainey Wood. Kingman back the other direction, ball on the floor. Picked up and knocked loose by Scott City, but picked up by Mary Pierce for Kingman. Kingman trying to find a shot inside. They get it inside to number 22, Dick. She can't get that to go. Rebounded by Scott. And that's the end of your third quarter with the Scott City Lady Beavers 47, Kingman Lady Eagles 30. Well, we'll be back here for this fourth quarter of action, this opening first session of the games tonight, starting off at 3 o'clock. We'll be right back after this break for this final fourth quarter against Scott City Lady Eagles and the Kingman girls. We'll be right back. 3BN. Welcome back to the fourth quarter of this opening session, 3 o'clock game. Scott City Lady Beavers versus the Kingman Lady Eagles. And the Scott City girls are ahead 47-30 over these Kingman Lady Eagles. Kingman getting ready to inbounds. Down by 17. Here in the fourth quarter. Kingman's Dick tried to get a shot off blocked. Shot by number 3, McDormand, rebounded by number 2, Kendall Gentry, back the other way for Scott City. Scott City trying to work it inside. They do kick it out to Gentry. Gentry inside to number 41, Megan Trout, and she's fouled by, trying to see who the foul's going to go against. Looks like number 4, Ryan Schreiner for Kingman's going to send Megan Trout to the line to shoot. First shot is good. Second shot is also good for Megan Trout. Kingman with the ball. Down by 19, 7:20 left here in the fourth quarter. This opening session game. Kingman's number 3, Mackenzie McDormand, is fouled. That foul is going to go against Kendall Gentry. That is her 4th foul of this evening, sending McDormand to the line to shoot. First shot is no good. It's like Irvin and Felker are checking in for Scott City as McDormand for Kingman to the line. Second shot is good. Scott City with the ball. 49-31 is your fourth quarter score. Scott City over Kingman. Scott City tried to work it inside, knocked loose. Kingman over in the corner for Pierce, can't get that to go. Rebounded by number 12, Erica Felker. Back the other way. Scott tried to work it inside, stolen by Ryan Schreiner for Kingman. Schreiner top of the key. To slow it down, try to work the offense a little bit, gets it over to number 13, Laney Wood. Laney inside shot, can't get that to go. Rebounded by number 24, Cheyenne Kramer. Back the other way comes Scott City. 6:10 left here in the ball game. 49-31 is your score. Scott City over Kingman. We have a timeout on the floor with 6 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. 49-31, Scott City girls over these Lady Kingman girls. We'll be right back here for the rest of this fourth quarter action. Thanks for tuning in to 3BN. We've got 6 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Scott City with the ball and a 49-31 lead over these Lady Eagles of Kingman. Ball knocked loose by Kingman's number 5. Jaden Belt's going to stay with Scott City. Looks like number 32, Kaylee Felker. And number 41, Megan Trout checked back into the ball game for Scott. They do work it inside to Megan Trout. She's fouled, looks like by number 24, Cheyenne Kramer. They do work it inside to Trout. She's able to muscle it up for a shot. 51-31 is your score. 5:30 left here in the fourth quarter. Scott City with a 20-point lead. Corner shot by Pierce for Kingman. Can't get that to go. Rebounded by number 12, Erica Felker. Back the other way comes Scott City. .504 left here in the fourth quarter. Scott City with the ball. 20-point lead. They do work it inside to number 41, Trout. Can't get that to go. Rebounded by number 24, Cheyenne Kramer for Kingman. She brings it the other direction. Mary Pierce top of the key for Kingman. Three-point attempt by number 24. Chloe Zeller can't get that to go. Back the other way comes Trout. She's got an open lane and an open shot, and she can easily lay that in for two. Back the other way comes Kingman. 53-31. Scott City over Kingman. Fourth quarter action. They do get it in the corner to number 12, Erica Felker. She can't get that to go. Rebounded, shot inside by number 20, Carissa Irvin for Scott City. Hard driving shot by Laney Wood. Looks like she's going to be fouled. That's going to send her to the line. Looks like foul's going to be against number 23, Avery Lewis. First shot for Laney Wood, no good. Coming back in for Scott is Kramer and Gentry. As Wood sets up for the second shot of her free throw, no good. Rebounded by number 24, Cheyenne Kramer. Kendall Gentry with the ball. Scott City patient, big lead. Shot inside by number 24, Cheyenne Kramer, no good. Ball winds up on the floor, rolls out of bounds, knocked out of bounds by Kingman's going to stay with Scott. Looks like we've got another replacement for Kingman, Annie Belt, number 14. Zeller with the foul, going to send number 23, Avery Lewis, to the line to shoot two. First shot is good. Second shot for Avery, no good. Rebounded by number 32, Grace Parsons. And that's going to be a foul leveled against number 12, Erica Felker. That's her fourth foul. Ball's going to stay with Kingman. Laney Wood. Over to Belt, back to Wood. Kingman trying to work it inside, but they do kick it back out. Shot by number 24, Zeller. And off the rebound, that's a foul. Looks like foul's going to go against Megan Trout. That's her second foul. We've got some other players checking into the game for Kingman. Foul on number 41, Megan Trout. On number 3, Kinsley McDormand for Kingman. Going to send McDormand to the line to shoot. 2:34 left here in the fourth quarter. 56-31, Scott City over Kingman. McDormand to the line. First shot is good. Valerie Castillo checks in the ball game for Scott City. Corner shot by Castillo, no good. Rebounded by number 14, Belt for Kingman. Shot by number 13, McDormand, no good. Rebounded by Scott City. 2 minutes left here in the ball game, fourth quarter. They do work it inside to number 41. She banks it off the glass. Megan Trout, 4-2. Kinsley McDormand bringing the ball down. Shot inside by number 3, Kinsley McDormand. 4-2. Going back the other way, Scott City. 1:36 left here in the ball game. 58-34. Scott City girls over these Kingman girls. This is your opening session game of this 11th annual Sterling Invitational Tournament. Looks like we got Avery Mertens checking in the ball game for Kingman. Kingman with the ball, 1:20 left here in the ball game. Kingman getting in some other players in towards the end of this ball game. 1 minute left. Ball tied up down below. Got some other replacements coming in for Scott City. Taking the ball out of bounds is Cammie Winterland for Scott City. Castillo bringing the ball down. Felker, Castillo. Katie Weathers is out there also for Scott City. .35 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Scott City just passing the ball around, playing keep away from Kingman. 58-34 is your score. Scott City with the commanding lead. Shot inside by number 21, Peyton Gentry, the freshman for Scott City. 12 seconds left. Kingman with the ball. Three-point attempt by number 25, Avery Mertens. Nothing but the bottom of the net for her. Nice shot. And that's going to be the end of the ball game. Final score, Scott City 60. Kingman Lady Eagles 37. And that's going to advance Scott City to the winner's bracket, where they'll play the winner of Smoky Valley versus Hutch Trinity. Kingman will play whoever loses that ball game between Smoky Valley and Hutch Trinity. Again, your final score of the opening session game at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Scott City girls versus the Kingman girls. Scott City the winner, 60-37. Thanks for tuning in to 3BN Network. We'll be back here for this second session ball game of the evening. Appreciate you tuning in. Second session will be Hugoton versus Sterling. We'll be back here on the 3BN Network for the opening of that ball game. Thanks again for tuning in.